You know, if you've subscribed to Cinema Craptaculous, you've probably noticed that every week you get a new show with amazing new content and new hosts. You know, not many podcasts deliver that kind of diversity and variety these days. Our Cinema Craptaculous lineup of shows brings you, the loyal listener, the most in-depth, most informed, most hilarious opinions and entertainment that you can find. Except for John, who likes to run at the mouth and listen to his own voice and pontificates and... Wait, who wrote this? Come on. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I mean, I like the sound of my own voice, but I mean, my voice counts. I mean, do I really run at the mouth? Anyway, our shows includes B-Sides, Real Debates, Terror Tunnel, Cinema Craptaculous, and of course, the Expanded Universe, which is about to start now. Geek out!
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Cinema Craptaculous presents The Expanded Universe with your hosts, John H.H. Ford, Mario Doc Diaz, and S'more. From movies to TV series to toys to comics to pop culture, this show is your safe space for all things geeky and where you can get your geek off. John, unfortunately, can't be with us today. Get well, John. We will miss you. But you still have us. This is Doc, and with me, as always, is my geektacular co-host,
S'more! How's it going, Doc?
Well, you know, it's like we're recording this podcast and, you know, the whole behind the scenes with it. It's a little crazy. I think I mentioned before, it's kind of like a two-parter for us, at least, not for the audience. But, you know, it's like we got together last weekend to record. And unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we could not complete the recording. And so this weekend, we planned to hop on and finish it off, but unfortunately we had some biological difficulties. So
we won't gross you out by letting you know what those were exactly, but I'm sure John will give you all the details when he gets back.
Or he won't. It does feel kind of weird though. You know, it's like not having John here. Well, not only is he like the host of the Expanded Universe, but like at least amongst our friends, you know, he's like Mr. Movie, Mr. TV, Mr. Theater. He's like the industry guy. And, you know, that's how we all met. You know, he moved to Los Angeles because of the entertainment industry. That's how we all got together. We lived in Los Angeles together for years. Mm-hmm. Of course, now he moved away. He's across the pond. Right. But it is a little weird. You're not having him here for the Academy Award, you know, episode.
It is weird because you're right. To your point, he's Mr. Movie Man. He's the guy that drives all the movie stuff and the movie knowledge. He's weirdly obsessed with Bond. I won't talk about that. But he's the guy that we go to for the movie stuff. So, John, this one's dedicated to you, man. I hope we do it justice. The show must go on. And speaking of the show, we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, the Oscars. Specifically, we're going to talk about the nominations. Who's been nominated, who hasn't been nominated, who should be nominated, and who just got screwed over. But before we do that, in the tradition of John and his love for quizzes, we're going to do a short quiz. And basically, Doc, I'm going to ask you a couple of true or false questions, and you see if you can answer them.
Oh, damn. You're going to put me on the spot. I'm like the sole contestant.
Yes, you are. But don't worry. It should be easy because you're pretty good with the movies too. So I'm hoping, you know, you'll knock this one out of the park.
I have Google at the ready.
All right. So as the field expands for Oscar-nominated films, there still tends to be a little Oscar love for action films. And that does cover several subgenres, which include sci-fi, fantasy, and of course, comic books. So today, we're going to discuss why the big snub for each year for our favorite blockbuster action flicks. But first, we're going to do another round of our favorite geek quiz show. That's so strange!
That's so strange!
All right, so as I said before, Doc, true or false questions. And it's going to be one question, several categories. And that question is, which movies have actually won an Academy Award? So
right, give it to me.
I'm going to give you the title of the movie, and you tell me true or false. And for bonus, if you can tell me what they won for, that'll be great. You ready?
Ready.
All right. True or false? 2016's Suicide Squad.
So, true or false, did it win an Academy Award?
Yes, sir.
True, won an Academy Award.
You are correct. It won the award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Good call.
Yep.
All right. 2011's Green Lantern.
False. It did not win an Academy Award.
And you are correct, sir. Yes. It did not win an Academy Award. And if it did, I would quit the business.
Not even those visuals. Not even those CG effects were Academy Award winning.
Right? All right. Next film.
I know, right?
All right. The next film, Spawn. True or false? Did it win an Academy Award?
Oh, damn. I'm going to say no.
And you are correct, sir. Yes, Spawn did not win either.
Like a movie like that, Academy usually throws it a bone, like in the visual effect category or something like that. But yeah, I remember that movie, and those effects were not good.
Not good. And that's why they got nothing, sir. Nothing.
Good day, sir.
Okay. 1978's Superman. True or false?
True.
Damn, you're good. You are correct, sir. Achievement in visual effects.
Nice. I believed a man could fly.
And the final question, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse from 2018. True or false?
True.
You are correct. Best animated feature.
It's very, very well done. The visuals, they created something we hadn't really seen. And then since it came out, we've seen a lot of other animated movies kind of like follow suit, have similar type of animation styles. It's kind of inspired like a lot of animated projects since then.
It has. I mean, it was, it took me aback a little bit. I wasn't expecting what they actually done with that film. And they did a lot of good stuff with it. So much so that a sequel's coming out and people are going to go nuts for it.
Well, 2 sequels, because the next one they announced was part 1 and part 2. So we got 2 more of those coming.
Holy crap. Do you think it's going to be nominated for an Academy Award?
I'm going to say no. Because it happens a lot where the first movie in a franchise or a series is usually nominated, and then the follow-ups aren't as good. That's not always the case. You have movies like Godfather Part 2, and then you have like Return of the King for Lord of the Rings. They could surprise us, but it's what was really amazing about that film was just like the visuals. People hadn't really seen that before. And yeah, like I said, you have other movies like The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is on Netflix. That you can kind of see it emulates the style. Arcane over on Netflix, which isn't a movie, it's a series, but it's influenced a lot of other animated projects. And so it's really cool. I just love like the different styles. It's very, very dynamic. Just looks beautiful.
I agree. And apparently Oscar recognized that. But then Oscar doesn't recognize a lot of things either. Speaking of which, this year's nominations, what do we got?
This year's nominations. I'll just run through the list here. I'll run through the nominations for Best Picture of the year.
All right.
There's actually 10 categories possible, and this year they actually filled it. They filled up the entire category. In past years they announced they expanded to 10, but sometimes you'll have like 6 movies. Give or take 1 or 2, but this year they went all out and they filled all the positions.
All right.
So here's the list. Number 1, Belfast.
Never seen it.
Have not seen it.
Nope.
Number 2, Coda.
Nope.
Haven't seen that either. Number 3, Don't Look Up.
Is that Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yes, it's on Netflix.
That got nominated? I've seen it.
Jennifer Lawrence, Adam McKay.
Wow, okay.
Next up, Drive My Car.
Drive My Car?
Yeah, it's a Japanese film. I actually do want to see this. I've heard really good things about it.
Is it a sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
No, it is not. It's not the sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
Next on the list, Dude, Where's My Car? Just kidding.
What?
I read that wrong. Next one is Dune.
Dune!
Where's My Car?
Timothy Chalamet kind of looks like one of those dudes.
After Dune, you have King Richard, which is Will Smith, about Serena and Venus's.
Oh yeah.
And them growing up.
All right.
Next up, you have Licorice Pizza.
Oh, I want to see that. Haven't seen it.
I do want to see that. Have not seen it. I really want to see it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So as soon as I have a chance, I will check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Nightmare Alley.
Oh, I want to see that one too.
I've seen that.
That's with Rocket Raccoon, correct?
Correct. Rocket Raccoon.
AKA Bradley Cooper, y'all. So calm down.
And the last 2 films, The Power of the Dog and West Side Story.
Okay, Power of the Dog. That's one of Doctor Strange, right?
Yes, it's on Netflix. So easy to see. I've actually seen it. Out of the 10 movies, do you know how many you've seen?
Okay, I've seen Dune. I've seen Look Up. I've seen
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. I've only seen 2 out of the 10.
Okay. Yeah, it's like this year, when the year before.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic, we have other things going on. I haven't really seen that many movies. Usually, I've seen a lot more of the movies that are nominated.
Yeah.
Uh, this year, I'm at 4, so I've seen 4 of them. I do want to see others on the list.
Okay.
The ones that I have seen are The Power of the Dog, Nightmare Alley, Dune, and Don't Look Up.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually. To your point, I think because of the pandemic and because of everything that's going on with politics and Ukrainian invasions, I just haven't gotten around to seeing a lot of those films. And for me, I loved going to the theater to see these movies to get that full theatrical experience. But it sounds like on that list, more than half of those films are streaming.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Before pandemic, like my movie viewing habits had really changed over the years. Of course, when we're younger, we go to the theater almost every weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. It's escapism. It's something to do. You go get a bite to eat and go catch a movie.
Right.
A lot of people walk up to the box office not knowing what they're going to see, look at the marquee, and they go, "Oh, let's see that." Because of the pandemic, people are really limiting and picking and choosing what they see.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, even before pandemic, I was already doing that. A lot of movies come out. A lot of movies just aren't good. And there are quite a bit of movies that you can enjoy them at home on a big screen TV.
Yeah.
A lot of movies that are more story driven, character driven. And I usually save the movie going experience for the flashy tentpole blockbuster movies with special effects that you really can enjoy seeing them on a huge screen.
I agree. I'm the same way. And I'm wondering too if, the industry, if Oscar, if the Academy recognizes this, especially after the pandemic, and they're a lot more willing to just accept streaming. There was a point in time where anything that came across your television set, streaming or not, was sort of looked down upon because, television was considered entertainment for the masses, whereas films, you go to a theater, that's entertainment for people who love film, who's willing to pay for film and see these classics or these blockbusters or these, intimate films in a big screen. So do you think that the Academy is finally lightening up? Because as we see over the past couple of years, there's a lot of controversy with the Academy in terms of representation of, film categories, of color in films, color in nominations, the variations in nominations. Do you think they're finally opening up, or do you think they're just pivoting because they are forced to?
I think they are opening up. Just a handful of years back, there was a lot of movie makers who were pushing back on streaming movies that came out of streaming services. A lot of directors and producers were like, they should not be allowed to be nominated for Academy Awards. They reluctantly allowed it, and so I guess the way, an exception or the way they allowed them to be nominated was Netflix and other streaming services released these movies in theaters for a short run. Was it both Amazon and Netflix? I think they own their own personal theaters now. I think
they do,
and they screen these movies for a week or two just so they're eligible for Academy Award nominations.
Now, I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and outs of the movie business in terms of how distribution happens. I mean, I am an entertainment guy, but my knowledge doesn't go that deep. But my question is, and this is just a general thought, if we've gotten to the point where it's hard to create blockbusters in theaters because people are staying home to stream their stuff, why even bother releasing something in a theater anymore just for Oscar consideration? Can't Oscars just consider it because it's out?
I think that might be the case. Something the pandemic did was kind of accelerate this whole process. So now, like I mentioned earlier, people are staying away from theaters. I know I have, and especially because movies are coming to home video a lot quicker.
Yeah,
it's acceptable. There's a lot of movies, even movies that are nominated, that are showing up on streaming services. And so I think it'll probably get to a point where they'll just skip the whole being released in theater thing. I like going to see movies in theaters. Again, as I mentioned, I like seeing the bigger movies. I make them more of events. I like getting together with you and with friends, do a whole group outing. And sometimes our group, we have anywhere from 6 to 16 people in our groups. We get together, have food, have drinks, and go see the movie together. So I enjoy that. As for getting nominated for Academy Awards, at some point they might just skip the whole needing to be released in theaters.
Changing with the times. I guess you have to. And to your point, I love going out, having the movie experience. I love that. I love getting the popcorn, love getting the groups together. We talk before the movie, talk after the movie, go see the film. But for me, it's only reserved for tent poles. I mean, their movies are expensive. And quite frankly, I don't think every film needs to have that silver screen experience nowadays. Certain movies, you have to see it on the silver screen. Like one of my regrets is the film Dune, seen it on streaming, and I wish I saw it in the theater because it felt big enough to be in the theater. The Power of the Dog film, not so much. I mean, I'm sure it's good, but do I need to spend $20, go out, drive my car, spend gas money to see it? Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, when Dune was released, I also saw it at home because it was on HBO Max.
Mhm.
Talking to other friends, a lot of them who did see it on HBO Max also wanted to go see it in the theater, on top of seeing it at home.
Yeah.
And because it was such a big movie on a grand scale, for me, like Dune wasn't really my thing. I've never really been a fan of the story, but
You don't like the
definitely
spice? It's all about the spice.
You like the spice, huh?
You like the spice?
I'm not a spice boy. But no, 'cause I get it. It's like people wanted to see Dune on the big screen, and there are other movies that I was planning to go see in theaters, like Nightmare Alley,
Yeah.
and The King's Man, which isn't nominated or anything, but those are two movies that I was planning to go see. And then after we had an uptick, in cases during the pandemic, and so for me, it's like I wasn't really willing to risk it. I have family members who are young who are not vaccinated. I also have family members who are older, who are immunocompromised. On the other hand, there are certain movies, or at least one movie, that people will go see, which is
People, stop saying Spider-Man. You know why the numbers are going up? Because you guys are still watching Spider-Man. Stop watching Spider-Man.
So, Mr. President, you're saying that the reason that we've had an uptick in cases is because of the movie Spider-Man?
Yes. Stop saying Spider-Man.
And is that your solution? What's your solution?
To stop saying Spider-Man. That's my solution. For those who don't know, there's a lovely SNL skit that came out maybe 3 weeks ago with our president, Joe Biden, speaking of the dangers of seeing Spider-Man. It's hilarious. Check it out, YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's like Spider-Man was the last movie that I saw in theaters before this recent wave of cases. But yeah, I was planning on seeing that movie 2 times, 3 times. I know a lot of people did.
Yes.
So, and it's making a lot of money, now with I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like me who are like being cautious, staying away from theaters.
Yeah.
Imagine how much money that movie would have made if, there, wasn't, the pandemic wasn't going on. It would have made a buttload more money.
Dude, I'm convinced it would have beat Titanic and Avatar. I'm convinced.
I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like, even now, I'm kind of hoping that maybe in a couple of weeks, I'm going to head back to the theater. Hopefully it's still there and I can catch it before it is released on home video, because I'm going to buy it. It's like what they're able to do. It was insane. They brought back all the talent from all previous movies, previous franchises.
Honestly, Spider-Man is one of those films that I'd be willing to, risk COVID for.
Death.
I will, quarantine for 2 weeks after seeing this film because I'm willing to have that theater experience for it. I think it's that big. I think it's that important, at least to me. But to the Academy, this movie, if I'm correct, was not nominated for anything.
Yeah, I think so. It didn't get any major nominations, at least. May have gotten nominations for visual effects. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's something that we have talked about in the past. There's certain movies the Academy will nominate, but there's certain types, certain genres that they just completely ignore and just kind of tip their noses, keep their noses up in the air about.
Well, why is that? Because this is clearly a film that's beloved by millions of people. It's a popular film. As of now, the film has passed Avatar in the domestic box office. This movie has made over $1 billion without China, which is honestly, it's unprecedented. A lot of movies who cross $1 billion mark usually gets there because it's released in China. This movie has not opened in China. has not gotten that money yet. Does Oscar have a serious bias against popular films? That's what it feels like sometimes, at least to me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, quickly, and what you said about China, Marvel is huge. The MCU is huge in China. Any Marvel movie that's released over there, easily makes 100 million over there.
Yeah.
And so the Chinese market is just a big part of the box office now. Just to bring in all that cash, there's a lot of people filling the seats who love to see these movies. And like I said, they love Marvel. So I don't know if there are plans to release Spider-Man No Way Home over there, but if it does get released over there, it's going to have a huge bump. But yeah, just historically, the Academy Award just kind of looks down on these movies and they don't nominate them.
Right. Right. I mean, which is one of the reasons why we have the People's Choices Award, because it's a little bit more quote unquote democratic. But still, the Oscars, this is supposed to be the culmination of the greatest that a filmmaker and actors and producers can create, something that supposedly appeals to, the movie going audience. And yet there is a certain snobbery when it comes to big films like this.
Hey, we'll be right back. And now, back to the show.
Not saying that Spider-Man, No Way Home was the best film you've ever seen, or if it's a masterpiece. I'm not going to say that, but it has a decent story. It's a big enough film that a lot of people liked it, immensely. Why can't it be considered? Is it because it's a Marvel film? Is it because it's a comic book movie? Is it because it's an action flick? Is it because it's just popular? Why is this? This is something that I've always wondered.
Yeah, it's an insane accomplishment what Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige were able to do just in movie history, to be able to bring back 3 generations, or to include 3 generations of this character in one movie.
Right.
So it should have got some kind of honorary tip of the hat, just innovation, or just a milestone in movie making.
Right.
And yeah, I think the Academy does look down on these type of movies. They consider them popcorn flicks.
Mm-hmm.
And this is nothing new. This is, if you go back years to art, photography. When photography first started, a lot of artists, painters, would look down on photography. They would not consider it art. They would not accept it. They're like, this isn't going in theaters. This is cheating.
Right.
And it was looked down on. But decades later, it's people take photography seriously. You look at it and that can be art. It's capturing elements, everyday life, like paintings do. And so now it's more acceptable.
Right. Because people finally recognize the artistry in photography. It takes a certain amount of skill. It takes a keen eye. It takes ability to capture gorgeous pictures that you might see in a museum or an exhibit or some sort of display.
And in regards to movies, for example, the movie Tron, what they created in Tron using computers, one of the first movies. I'm not sure if it's the first movie that used CG. It might be the first movie, but the Academy Awards just snubbed it, in the visual effects categories, because again, they considered using computers cheating. And so now we look back on that and we're just that's funny, because almost every category now is special effects.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just change. Things are always changing and people are reluctant to accept it.
All right.
But eventually with time, people eventually do accept things, accept change.
They do. I mean, hell, if you think 50, 60 years ago, to nominate a person of color for any award was unheard of. It was scandalous. It was taboo. Now, it's opened up a little bit more. I mean, I think personally, there could be a little bit more representation in our films. You went down that list of movies that have been nominated, and again, I haven't seen the majority of them. I've only seen 2, but it feels like a lot of those movies nominated could be a little bit more diverse than they are. But again, I haven't seen these films, so I could be way off base.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. I'm trying to, of course, like I mentioned, I have not seen the majority of these movies, but Drive My Car, that's a Japanese movie.
Mm-hmm.
King Richard, it has to do with Venus and Serena Williams. And then, of course, West Side Story, which the Sharks and the Jets, you have the 2 gangs. One of the gangs is Puerto Rican, so there is some diversity there.
Okay, so it's a little bit better. It's a little bit more diverse, but it could be better. Who knows? Out of those 4 films that you've seen, who deserves the Oscar?
Out of the 4 that I've seen,
The 4 that you've seen.
see, going through the list, man, it's hard. It's hard. I did enjoy Don't Look Up. It made me laugh. It also made me sad.
Why? Because it's a documentary as opposed to like a movie, a story.
It was very like left leaning, which is fine, you know. So on the other hand, like Nightmare Alley, I'm a Benicio del Toro fan. I appreciate what he's done, horror, and the elements that he includes in his movies. I do like that, but Nightmare Alley, I thought it was just long and boring.
Really?
And when I watched it, the whole time I was thinking, okay, I figured out in my head, I already figured where the character would end up.
Oh,
Just waiting for that to happen, and sure enough, it kind of just happened at the end. And I was kind of like, that was a movie. Okay, I do love his work. There's a lot of movies of his that he's created that I'm a fan of.
yeah.
But Nightmare Alley, and even going back to Shape of Water, a lot of things in that movie I loved. Did I love that movie? I didn't love the movie overall, but I don't really think it's Nightmare Alley. Power of the Dog has really great performances in it.
Now, who's in that again? Is Doctor Strange and who else?
It's Benedict Cumberbatch and who's the actor's name? He's also nominated. Off the top of my head, I can't remember his name.
Does he play a superhero? Because now I recognize actors by their superhero roles.
Oh yes, he was actually Nightcrawler.
Oh,
the last X-Men. His name is Cody something.
Okay, so Doctor Strange versus Nightcrawler. Nice.
Yeah. So he was in the last few X-Men movies as Nightcrawler. Yeah, both really, really strong performances. Oh, and also Jesse Plemons. Oh,
evil Captain Kirk.
Evil Captain Kirk. Poor man's Matt Damon, but kind of no longer poor man's Matt Damon because he's getting nominated for movies all the time now.
Oh man!
And then also Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst. She's also nominated as well.
Oh, Mary Jane, nice, very nice.
It's really strong performances.
Yeah.
The movie, again, I saw that at home, which was totally fine. Some of the events in the movie, I was kind of like, oh, okay, all right. Okay, the way it played out, that's fine. So the movies that I've seen, oh man, I'm gonna have to go Don't Look Up.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's the movie I've seen because again, I also saw Dune, but I'm just not a fan of the story. I know part 2 is coming out. When it does, I'll probably see it, probably streaming. But I'm just not a really big fan of the spice.
You don't like the spice? But what about the bagpipe theme music they have in there? They have bagpipes, dude. Come on, man. Bagpipes.
It has an amazing cast. I love me some bagpipes. I love that. But the movie just seemed very dry.
Because of the desert and the spice?
I hate sand. It's coarse and gets everywhere.
But Anakin, why Anakin? Why? Anakin.
Yeah. Wait, so how many have you seen?
I've seen 2. So I've seen Dune and I've seen Don't Look Up. And out of those 2, I would probably go for Dune because I do like those long-winded epic tales. And I recently, not watched the whole thing, but recently viewed snippets of the original 1984 Dune.
Damn.
Oh,
sorry about that.
Dude, what the hell? No disrespect to Kyle MacLachlan, who originally played Paul Atreides, but jeez.
But you get Sting in a codpiece.
That's true. Sting in a codpiece made the film. Still. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, one thing that I like about the first one was the pronunciation of Baron Harkonnen.
Yes.
In this one, it's Baron
Harkonnen.
I like Harkonnen.
Harkonnen sounds evil, like gangsters who will come and grind your bones for spice. Harkonnen sounds like a burger chain. I'm going to Harkonnen's. You get your Harkonnen's burger?
It's a family restaurant. It's, hey, bring the family to Harkonnen.
And I'm not sure why they went for that creative choice. I mean, Harkonnen, that scares me. Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Harkonnens. I'm sure we pissed off some Doom fans out there.
I've got a hankering for some Harkonnens.
You want some Harkonnens? We got a Harkonnen special.
Extra spicy.
Lots of spice. Spicy. Spicy. Eat that spice.
S'mores Academy Awards. It's like 2 movies have 50-50 chance of being Picture of the Year.
Exactly. Hey, it'll cut down to the awards time because, I mean, look, I again, Academy Awards, much respect. It's a tradition. It's been around since before we were born, decades before we were born. But watching those shows now, it's 3 to 4 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours. They have host problems. It's like,
do you watch?
I still do, but not with as much enthusiasm as I used to. It feels more like a chore because I have to watch it as opposed to I want to watch it.
You have it playing in the background?
I have it playing in the background because, quite frankly, I don't, again, respect to all the artisans in the industry. It's a very tough industry. It's very creative. There's a lot of content. People work very hard. I don't necessarily need to watch someone win for best, adapted musical score awards. I really don't, because I don't know who you are. I don't really know what you do. And if you win, great. If you don't, it doesn't push me one way or the other. I care about the main topics. I care about the best film. I care about the actors, right? Because I'm invested in that and I can relate to that. Best sound engineering? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yay. Do I need to watch that? No, I don't.
Yeah, the people who work on those movies in those categories, they definitely deserve it. Give them the awards, but we don't really necessarily need to see them during the ceremony.
Yeah. Do they have to televise that part?
Yeah. Well, even last year, was that the year, it wasn't in person? Didn't they?
Oh, it was at Union Station, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was at Union Station, and not unsurprisingly, viewership was really, really super low. The whole ceremony was very, very low key.
Right. And
so
odd. I mean, I know they're compensating for COVID issues, but Union Station, I mean, the way it was produced seemed kind of odd.
Yeah, I do love Union Station. It's an amazing building. I love the architecture, but it's like I didn't even tune in. I didn't pay attention. And again, it's kind of like that's been my attitude towards a lot of movies during these last 2 years. I just haven't been paying attention. And I think I heard that that's kind of like the theme for the Academy Awards this year, where it's kind of like welcoming people back to the theaters, come see the movies, the experience.
Do you think that's premature? Because we are still in the pandemic, technically.
Pandemic is just so unpredictable with different variants and stuff like that. So who knows? I would like to think, heck, when May comes around and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out, my butt's going to be in a theater seat. I want to see that movie.
Oh yeah, same here. I mean, I'll make sure I take my test afterwards. I'll isolate. Doctor Strange is worth for me isolating for 2 weeks for.
Yeah, I'm gonna saran wrap myself and go sit in the theater.
You're gonna be the bubble boy.
Haven't figured out the breathing part, but I want to be in the theater and I want to see the movie on the big screen.
Oh, you can hold your breath for 2 hours, can't you?
I think I can. I've been practicing. I'm almost there. I'm at an hour and a half. But these movies now are 2.5 hours each, so they're going a little nuts with the movie lengths these days.
That's true. I mean, case in point, your favorite film, The Batman, is close to 3 hours, man. You gonna do it? 3 hours?
Actually, like I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I have no interest in seeing another Batman movie. Seen so many Batman movies, I'm just I'm good. When it comes out, when it's available to stream, I'll watch that at home.
But he is vengeance.
He is the night. He will still be vengeance in my living room. So
come for your own living room, cocktails at the ready.
Yeah. So before the Academy Awards, which of these movies do you plan on seeing? Do you need me to run through them real quick?
Please do.
Okay. Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, which you've seen, Drive My Car, Doom, which you've seen, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story.
Okay.
West Side.
Those last few movies you just named, starting from Power of the Dog, so Power of the Dog, West Side Story. I do want to see West Side Story because I don't remember the original very well. I was too young when I saw it. It's before my time. So I do want to watch it and do a comparison. I hear good things. So I'm interested in that. Uh, Nightmare Alley, because I do like Benicio del Toro. I do want to see what he's done. Power of the Dog. I think Benedict Cumberbatch and the other people who named that film are very good actors. So I do want to see that. So yeah, there's quite a bit I want to see. And what helps is that I can watch it from the comfort of my own home because it's streaming. I don't need to go to the theater to see them.
Yeah, similarly to you, West Side Story, I definitely want to see that movie. Growing up, West Side Story was a big part of me growing up. My mom loved the movie,
All right.
so she owned a copy of it, and we'd watch it every once in a while.
Is that why you joined the gang?
That's why I joined the gang. I got my machismo.
Sweet.
Yeah, I want to see it. I've heard really good things. Here, Spielberg did a really amazing job. Movie didn't do well in theaters. Musicals, I guess, aren't really doing well currently, but then also the pandemic, people probably just stayed away. West Side Story will be available on, I think it's March 2nd on Disney Plus and on HBO Max.
What?
So it's going to be really easy to catch that one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nightmare Alley, I've seen that one. That's also available on HBO Max currently and on Hulu. So watch it. I think eventually a lot of movies, stay on HBO Max for 30 days and they get pulled for a certain amount of time and come back. So definitely watch that one before it gets pulled. I want to see Licorice Pizza. Again, I heard really good things about it. I might end up just waiting for a streaming service. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. If not, then I'll rent it and just watch it here at home. King Richard, was planning on seeing that one. It was available on HBO Max, but again, they have their window where they pulled it down. So it's currently not on HBO Max. So I'll get back to that. I'll drive my car. Again, I can wait for that for streaming. The only two movies that really didn't get my attention, but I probably will watch, are Kenneth Branagh's Belfast, and the other movie is Coda.
Okay.
So honestly, those two movies I had not even heard of.
Same here.
All the others I've heard of, but at some point streaming, I usually make it a point to watch all these movies eventually at some point, usually before the Academy Awards. But every once in a while, there's a movie or two that don't make it in time, and I watch them at some point after the awards.
Okay. So the $1 million question is, will you be tuning in to the Academy Awards?
Academy Awards are on Sunday, March 27th, starting at 5 p.m. on ABC.
Well done.
I don't know if I will be seeing. If I'm home, I'll have them on and I will watch. But like you mentioned, the whole ceremony is really, really long.
Yeah.
So past years I've had it on, and then as soon as I hear, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, then my ears perk up and I run over to see who won. Same for Best Movie. I'll do that as well, and also Best Animated Movie because I enjoy that category as well.
Okay. All right. Cool. And I'll have in the background on March 27th on ABC.
Sunday, March 27th on ABC at 5 p.m.
I'll have in the background, and when the categories that will perk my ears up come on, I will pay attention.
And if not, I'm sure we'll get the text. We'll be getting the play-by-play via text from Forward.
Oh,
it'll be like, although since he's across the pond now, do they even show the Academy Awards over there? And what time will they be airing? Because they're 8 hours ahead. So
it's Ford. He'll find a way. This is a man who loves movies way too much. He will find a way. He will find a way, and then he'll give us a full breakdown afterwards.
Just stay alive. I will text you. I'll be surprised. This is the first year, when he's not here in Los Angeles with us. But I'm curious how he will be watching or viewing the Academy Awards, or he'll probably just wake up in the morning and hop on his phone and check out who won. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Or he might be crazy enough to book a flight, fly out on March 27th on ABC to watch this.
I guess that's it. That's our conversation. We'll have our fingers crossed to see if our favorites win this year. See who does win, who doesn't win. Hopefully, moving forward, the Academy will be more accepting of other genres, sci-fi, action, that type of fare. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on whether they keep the whole movies have to be playing in theaters to be nominated, or if that will go away.
Right.
But being movie fans, I am excited. There's a lot of movies coming out. I'm looking forward to going back to theaters, actually sitting there with my friends, having a beer and enjoying these movies.
It will happen someday. It will. I'm optimistic. Go Spidey! Wait,
Go Spidey!
It's not nominated. Damn it. Oh well.
Damn it! So will you be watching the People's Choice Awards?
Yes, because it's for the people.
I won't. I have no idea when that comes on, what time of year. Or what.
I don't either. I'll just stumble onto it.
Thank you to our listeners, both openly geeky and closeted geeky, for joining us on this expanded universe journey. This has been Mario, aka Doc.
And s'more. And remember that this is your safe space to talk about all things geeky and where you can get your geek on.
Geek out!
Thank you for geeking out with us on the expanded universe. And be sure to subscribe to the Cinema Craptaculous channel, available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, anywhere you pod. Our universe has indeed expanded, as each week it's a brand new Cinema Craptaculous show, such as B-Sides with Adam, Dave, and Tara, Terror Tunnel with Stephanie and her horror co-hosts, The Expanded Universe with the Geeks, John H.H., Doc, and S'more, Real Debates with Dave, Adam, JDH, and some surprise guests, and of course our flagship, Cinema Craptaculous with Dave, John, and Stephanie. And you can find more fun content at cinemacraptaculous.com. And yeah, follow us on social media. We're Cinema Craptaculous on Facebook, and on Twitter and Instagram, we're at Craptaculous. That is a load of crap. And you know what? There's no such thing as too much crap in your life.